Hello everyone! Welcome back to another episode of Entertainment with Buford and Francis. Today I'll be cosplaying as Francis from the Fairly Odd Parents, and I'll be telling the story of the Lion King. Enjoy the video. In the lands of Africa, in the circle of life, Rafiki, a mandrill shaman, anoints Simba, the newborn cub of King Mufasa and Queen Sarabi, and presents him to a gathering of animals at Pride Rock. Meanwhile, Mufasa's younger brother Scar, who decided not to be at the ceremony, is annoyed that he is no longer their heir to the throne. Mufasa confronts Scar about not attending the ceremony and says not to turn his back on him when he tries to leave. When Scar says Mufasa should not turn his back on him and Mufasa asks if it is a challenge, Scar replies that he would not dream of it as he lacks brute strength. After Scar leaves, Mufasa wonders what to do with him. A few months later, Mufasa shows a young Simba the Pride Land and explains to him the responsibilities of kingship and the circle of life, which connects all living things. Meanwhile, Scar plots to eliminate Mufasa and Simba so he may become king. He tricks Simba and his best friend Nala into exploring a forbidden elephant graveyard. Simba, Nala, and Zazu head off to the watering hole rather as he just can't wait to be king. Simba and Nala make it to the elephant graveyard, where they are chased by three hyenas named Shenzi, Banzai, and Ed, who are in league with Scar. Mufasa is alerted of the incident by Zazu and rescues the cubs. Though disappointed in Simba, Mufasa eventually forgives him and explains that the great kings of the past watch over them from the night sky, from which he will one day watch over Simba. Later that night, Scar gains the loyalty of the hyenas by claiming that if he becomes king, they will never go hungry again. If they help him kill Mufasa and Simba with Be Prepared. Plotting further, Scar gathers more hyenas, forming an army. Sometime later, Scar lures Simba into a gorge for a surprise from his father, then signals the hyena to create a wildebeest stampede down into the gorge where Simba is. Alerted by an insincerely dramatic Scar, Mufasa races to rescue Simba from the stampede. He saves his son, but is left clinging to the edge of a cliff, which results in Scar fighting him into the stampede below his death. Scar convinces Simba that he was responsible for his own father's death and recommends that he flees the Pride Lands, never to return. To compound this, Scar once again sends the hyenas to kill Simba, but as Simba reaches a thorny embankment, they let him escape, hurling threats that he will be killed if ever seen again. That night back at Pride Rock, Scar informs Sarabi, Nala, and the rest of the Pride that both Mufasa and Simba were killed in the stampede and that he is assuming the throne as the closest of kin. After becoming king, Scar fulfills his promise to the hyenas and allows them to come into the Pride Land. Meanwhile, Simba, who has now exiled himself, collapses in the desert, where he is found unconscious by Timon and Pumbaa, a meerkat warthog duo who raised Simba under the carefree Hakuna Matata lifestyle. When Simba has grown into a young adult, he saves him from a hungry lioness revealed to be Nala. Simba shows Nala around his home, and the two begin to fall in love with "Can you feel the love tonight?" Nala then tells him that Scar's tyrannical reign has turned the Pride Land into a barren wasteland. She demands that Simba return and take his rightful place as king, but Simba refuses and leaves the jungle, still guilty about supposedly causing his father's death. Rafiki arrives and persuades Simba to return to the Pride Lands, assisted by Mufasa's presence in the stars. After some advice from Rafiki and the ghost of his father, Simba, followed by Nala, Timon, and Pumbaa, returns home. Once back at Pride Rock, Simba, with Timon, Pumbaa, and Nala, is horrified to see the condition of the Pride Lands. What was once a lush paradise was now a dead wasteland. The overhunting the prey eventually left the Pride Lands, causing famine in the Pride. After seeing Scar and his mother argue, she strikes her that he's 10 times the king Mufasa was. Simba announces his return. In response, Simba angrily confronts Scar, who forces Simba to confess to being responsible for Mufasa's death. Scar then forces Simba over the edge of Pride Rock just as a lightning bolt starts to fire below. As Simba dangles over the edge of Pride Rock, Scar whispers to Simba that he killed Mufasa. Enraged, Simba leaps up and pins Scar to the ground and calls him a murderer, forcing him to admit the truth to the Pride. A raging battle ensues between the hyenas and the lionesses Timon and Pumbaa, which results in Simba cornering Scar. Amid their fight, Scar tries to surreptitiously blame everything on the hyenas, but the hyenas overhear his conversation with Simba and back away growling. Simba orders Scar to flee the Pride Land. Scar pretends to leave, but turns to attack Simba, resulting in a final duel. Simba eventually overpowers Scar by kicking and hurling him over a low cliff. Scar initially survives the fall, but finds himself surrounded by the now resentful hyenas. The hyenas surround their traitorous fallen leader. Scar frantically tries to absolve himself, but the hyenas finally had enough of his lies, derogatory treatment, and violated promises, so they ignore his life plea, attack him, and maul him to death as flames rise around the heron and engulf them. With Scar and the hyenas gone, and with the rightful king in place, the Pride Lands are restored, which is turning green with life again. Rafiki presents Simba and Nala's newborn cub into the air, thus continuing the circle of life.